Okay, real talk. How many times have you scrolled through anime recommendations and seen the same shows over and over? Naruto, Attack on Titan. Don't get me wrong, they're great. But what about the hidden gems? The classics that got overshadowed but are still absolute fire. Well, today, I'm revealing 5 forgotten anime classics that will blow your mind. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll be rushing to add these to your watch list. First up, Fullmetal Alchemist, 2003. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about Brotherhood? Look, Brotherhood is amazing, but the 2003 version? It's a whole different beast. It's darker, more emotional, and it takes some wild turns that the manga and Brotherhood don't. Like, remember Nina Tucker? Yeah, that arc still haunts me. If you haven't seen this version, you're missing out on some serious storytelling gold. And speaking of gold, let's move on to another underrated gem.
I am your enemy.
Oh, are you an exorcist? Well then, it's a pleasure to meet you. The honor is mine.
Next, we've got D.Gray-Man. Honestly, I feel like this one doesn't get enough credit. It's got everything: gothic vibes, supernatural battles, and a protagonist with a cursed eye. Like, how cool is that? Alan Walker's journey is so emotional, and the Millennium Earl is such a compelling villain. Plus, the animation and music? Chef's kiss. If you're into dark, morally complex stories, this one's a must-watch. And speaking of complex stories, let's talk about a series that starts off silly, but gets seriously epic. This one's a wild ride. Katekyo Hitman Reborn. It starts off as this quirky comedy about a kid named Suna, who's training to become a mafia boss. And his mentor? A literal baby hitman named Reborn. Sounds ridiculous, right? But here's the thing. It evolves into this epic action series with insane battles, deep character development, and some of the coolest power-ups you'll ever see. The Vongola Rings arc and the Future arc are absolute game-changers. If you can stick through the slow start, you're in for a treat. And speaking of treats, let's move on to something darker and grittier. Alright, next up is Claymore. If you're into dark fantasy, this one's for you. It's set in a medieval world where half-human, half-demon warriors called Claymores hunt down monsters. The main character, Claire, is such a badass. Her quest for vengeance is both brutal and heartbreaking. The anime's got this gritty tone that really sets it apart, and the fight scenes are top-notch. Sure, it diverges from the manga's ending, but it's still a must-watch for fans of strong female leads and intense action. And finally, we've got Toriko. This anime is just bonkers. It's set in a world where food equals power, and the main character, Toriko, is a gourmet hunter who travels the globe hunting down rare ingredients. Think epic battles, bizarre creatures, and food that literally gives you superpowers. Oh, and it even had a crossover with One Piece and Dragon Ball Z. Like, how cool is that? If you're looking for something fun, creative, and totally unexpected, Toriko is your go-to. It's the perfect mix of action, comedy, and sheer absurdity. So, what do you think? Did we miss any forgotten classics that are still absolute fire? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this list, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more anime content.